If you really want your kids to understand what the Bible is about, not just hear random stories, this is one of the best Bibles I have come across. This is the Big Picture Story Bible, and I will tell you exactly why just a second. The big idea about this book is really simple. The Bible is about a big God who keeps his promises, and that runs all the way through from Genesis to Jesus. What this book does really well is show the Bible isn't just a collection of disconnected stories. It's one story all building towards something bigger. Now, a lot of kids' Bibles make the mistake of turning everything into a moral lesson. Be like David, be brave like Daniel. Now this one, it doesn't do that. It keeps pointing you forward to what God is doing and ultimately to Jesus. And one of the things I really love is how it keeps showing you Jesus from start to finish, not just at the end. From the beginning, everything is building towards him. And that's not always easy to explain to kids, but this book does it really well and really, really clearly. Even the key figures that you meet along the way, they're not really presented as heroes. They're more like previews of what is to come. You see patterns, people who lead, people who save others, people who stand in the place of others too. They're not the answer, but they're pointing forward to someone who is. And that's really helpful for kids because they're not just learning random stories. They're starting to see this is all connected. This is all going somewhere. This is all pointing to Jesus. And once kids start seeing that, it all really starts to click. The illustrations are also really strong and quite unique. They're simple, but they help carry the story. And they keep kids engaged as you read. In terms of age, this is probably best from around 3 to around 6 years old, although I started reading it with my oldest when she was 6 months old, and now as we're reading through it with my 4-year-old, my 7-year-old, my oldest, she is still really loving it. You can stretch it a bit older if you read it well and if you ask good questions, but it's really aimed at slightly younger kids. When I read this with my kids, it holds their attention really well. They stay engaged, they ask questions, and they're really picking up those key themes and keeping really engaged as I read through it with them. And as I ask them questions along the way, they really get into the narrative. And that's really what you want. One thing to be aware of, it is quite simple. It is brief. It leaves out chunks that you'd find in your regular Bible. So if you've got older kids who want more detail, it might feel a little bit light. The other thing is the physical size of the book. It's quite large and it can be a little awkward to hold. That said, it does make the illustrations clear and easy to see, and they do a great job of supporting the content. But overall, it makes the main point really clear. I'll put a link below if you want to check it out. So if you want a clear, simple Bible that teaches the big picture story of the Bible really, really well, this is a great place to start. I'll be reviewing more kids' books like this coming up. So if that's helpful, stick around and I'll be reviewing some more books soon. God bless and keep reading with them. See you again.